Hi, let's check some of the news for Valencia, starting with some of the oldest and going towards the newest news. So yeah, on June 14th, it was reported that Valencia is interested in Jonathan Icon, French footballer who is playing for Lille. He plays as a winger for them. He also plays for the French national team. He he was basically one of their best players last season, and as such, he's valued at 30 million euros. And again, there were reports that Valencia is interested, even though this is a very expensive target, and the only way Valencia would be able to go after this player is if they sell Guedes for something like 40 million euros, which seems less and less likely as Guedes hasn't featured not even once in the Euro 2020 uh, competition. So yeah, he was supposed to be featuring, I mean, at least once or maybe come even as a substitution, but no, he's not featured for them at all. And so again, I don't see his price going anywhere near 40 million euros. If he was playing, I think 40 million euros is a fair price, but because he's not playing, you just I don't see it. I just don't see it. So yeah, yeah. I mean, there were some reports that Valencia would be able to offer them 20 million. 30 million is a bit on the high side. That's the sort of absolute maximum that they would be able to get him for 20 million euros. But yeah, I don't see this happening at all. I mean, Valencia will have to sell Guedes for 40 million euros, and then even again, would Lille really sell him for 20 million euros? That's questionable. Even if they were, like, it just I don't see this working. I don't see this working. So yeah, let's check out some of the newer news. Yeah, I mean, the same day I reported about the city council. They actually basically voted to fine Peter Lim 2.3 million euros because of the breach of the ATE, which is basically the agreement the club and Meriton and Peter Lim have with the government of Valencia, the city of Valencia. They agreed to basically build some sort of pavilion and stuff like that for the city. They also agreed to build and finish the Mestalla up until a certain period, But as you know, the Mestalla is still basically half done. So they wanted to find Peter Lim. So we're going to see what happens. I mean, 2.3 million is not enough, but I mean, I don't know. And again, I don't know if this hurts Peter Lim or Valencia more. That's the thing. If it hurts Peter Lim and Meriton, his main company, then that's fine. Find him even more. Find him 3 million, 4 million. Doesn't matter. But if it hurts Valencia, then that's a problem. So yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens with this. Uh, Other players that were linked to Valencia is Ezekiel Pons, again Argentinian football player playing for Spartak Moscow in Russia. Center forward as his main position, can also play as a winger. He's valued at about 6, 7, maybe even 8 million euros. Decent player, but again, I think he also has dual citizenship, so he's also Spanish citizen. So that's also a plus for Valencia. They won't have to take some of their international slots. But again, it's 7 million euros is not even feasible for this Valencia right now. I mean, the club would have to sell. They still have to sell players to basically reach about 24, 25 million euros to balance the budget. They still have to sell players just to balance the budget. So, I mean, do they have money to buy players? I don't think so. I mean, they would have to sell someone like Guedes for like 35, 40 million in order to be able to buy, especially these types of players for like 7, 8 million euros even. Yeah, good player, young, but again, 7, 8 million euros. I don't see it happening. He's just too expensive for Valencia. And again, the team needs about 25 million to just balance the budget. So even if you were to sell Kangin Lee, for example, for 50 million, that still doesn't help us. Chilison, I don't think he's going to sell more than 10 million right now because he didn't go to the Euro 2020. So yeah, if we were to sell Chilison, and I don't even know if there will be clubs who are interested to buy him at this point. Like he's quite old. I mean, goalkeepers can go up to like 36, 37 years. That's not really the biggest issue, but still, their prices drop. I mean, after their 28th year, 29th year, their prices drop. So for Chilison, 10 millions right now at the most. I don't see anyone paying more. Another player Valencia were interested and that our coach wanted was Robert Kennedy from Chelsea. I mean, this player has actually featured for them for quite a bit, but he's been on loan at Granada. He scored 4 goals and 3 assists. He's also one of the fastest sprinters in La Liga, and I guess Jose Bordalás wants those fast, hardworking players to be able to basically rush the defense and pass them with their speed. So he's valued at about 10 million euros. I think that's an overestimation. I mean, we know that English players are overvalued. I mean, the prices is always like at least 20, 30% higher than their real value is. So I mean, we're looking at about 7 million realistically. If Valencia are able to negotiate 7 million euros for this player. But again, even 7 million euros at this point seems kind of a lot. Yeah, was I mean he did an interview early in the early in the summer where he said, I'm at that age where I wanna basically play summer where I can retire, But he also said that he has one more year with Valencia, and it's up to the team if they wanna sell him or if they wanna use him for one more year. If they sell him this year, I mean, like again, 5 million euros. That's a decent deal for a player his age. But I'd rather have him stay in Valencia and just help us. He's a versatile player. He can play in mid. He can play as a winger. He can play as a right back. He can be a core for a lot of players. And it's not like 4 or 5 million euros is going to change, Valencia's, future. So yeah, I'd rather keep him for one more year, and then he can go wherever he wants. He can retire in whichever club he wants. Yeah, Angulo was appointed to as a coach to Valencia Mestalla. I mean, the B team of Valencia basically is playing in the fifth division right now. Last season they had one of the worst seasons ever. Like they lost nearly all of their games. So yeah, they've been playing terribly. They've had really bad performances. So there was a bit of a clear out in the youth teams. We now get Angulo, one of the biggest legends for Valencia CF. So I mean, this is a good thing. I hope he does well, and I hope he can, bring our B team into the higher divisions. I mean, we need that. I mean, currently our B team is playing at fifth division. Like, there's no way we could get players from the B team and put them in the first team. Like, just they're playing at a very very low level. Valencia also has a new sponsor. It's basically socios.com. It's a newer website. I don't know how it works. It's they're supposed to, I don't know, have this sort of like interactive partnership with the teams and clubs and sports teams they're engaging with. So there's supposed to be also some sort of token which you can buy, and I don't know. At least they're paying Valencia money, so that's good. And in Spain, they actually have voted a law which limits and even prevents, in some cases, betting companies and these types of, yeah, various types of betting companies from basically being able to advertise on sports teams. I think that's silly. I think that's silly. And again, as I wrote here, I mean, we have kids being exposed to gambling, at 10 years old, 12 years old, 13, 14 years old, through gaming, right? I mean, there's more and more games that literally have slot machines inside their games, right? More and more games are like lottery type based or gambling type based, where you pay a certain amount and you gamble with it, and you get some, yeah, you get a certain, I don't know, certain reward. Yeah, something is more, something it's less. Again, games are becoming more and more gambling, more and more, casinos. So you know, all this is going to do is hurt basically sports clubs who are relying on betting money, betting sponsors. So and this won't change anything. I mean, kids are basically already being exposed as young as 10, 9 years old even to gambling with all of the in-game monetization. It's all basically gambling. So yeah, I mean the euro has not been positive for Valencia. I think that's pretty obvious. None of our players have played except Daniel Vaz. Chilison, didn't even get to go. He was dropped at the last second, basically. I mean, he had COVID. I mean, I think he he should have still been on the list, enjoyed them when he could, but no, he was left. So that's a bummer for him and for the club. Though the club wanted to sell him, so you know. But yeah, again, Guedes hasn't featured. Guy even hasn't featured. Like, really terrible Euro for our players and for Valencia as well. And the latest news is about Marcos Andre. He's Valencia's latest target. Plays for Real Valladolid. 24 years of age. Again, young player. Played mostly for lower level and B type teams. So not very, not very capable player, I guess. Not very established player. The best he's had it is with Mirandes. He played 38 games, scored 12 goals, but he hasn't really featured for Valladolid too much. Two player, but again, I don't see these players, I don't know, being good for Valencia. I don't see how he can go from playing for mostly for B teams in lower level divisions to Valencia and then I don't know, help us. I just don't see it. Don't see it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's some smaller news, but nothing major. Again, the club still has to make 24, 25 million euros. So that means there will be players who are sold. Now, which players we don't know. I mean, Guedes was a serious option because he also, his father said he wanted to leave. He didn't dispute those claims. He kind of even made it more obvious that he wants to leave. But now that we cannot sell him for decent amount, I mean, it just that's becoming less and less of an option. So, and I would rather keep him. I would rather. I mean, he has 2 more years contract with Valencia. Why sell him? We don't have to sell him. Why all of a sudden we have to sell Guedes? I mean, yeah, he hasn't always been very consistent, but again with Bordalas, I mean, who knows if he can have him be consistent for longer periods of time, then yeah, I think he's going to be an asset for Valencia. Again, if he plays for most of the season, like he played this last season towards the end, and how he played, for example, towards the beginning of the first season he was in Valencia. So yeah, I mean he has very hot and kind of cold periods. So if we can get him to play more hot periods, it's going to be good for Valencia. I mean, as far as Maxi Gomez, there hasn't been any transfer requests, any sort of interest for the player. So again, I don't see Valencia selling him. I mean, first of all, there's no interest, and even if there's interested clubs, how much are they going to pay for Maxi Gomez? I mean, he's been terrible since he arrived in Valencia. Like, I don't see him fetching more than, I don't know, 40 million euros, and that's kind of like towards the high end. At this point, he's not the sort of uncovered talent who can maybe score 15 goals. Like, he's been quite poor. So yeah, that's it for now. Not a lot of news these days. I mean, yeah, there's some news about Valencia preseason. I mean, I think the latest news is that we are playing Getafe in a friendly match. But other than that, it's like just we have few friendly games. It's with lower level teams. Nothing major. Just kind of warm up type games. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to cover those games in more detail once they come closer, and once we play them. Obviously, we all wanna see you know how the team does, even in those initial games, and even if they're friendly games. But yeah, for now, that's it. See you guys next time.